Microsoft is going nuclear energy, that is, and they have a blockbuster deal that they are making for their data centers. Now, data is the new gold. AI is the next big thing, and many companies are in a race to build out data centers to become the top data and AI companies in the hopes for massive profits in the future. So these companies are spending huge amounts of money, billions of dollars, in the hopes of a robust AI world, which means massive revenue growth potential. One company is going beyond the typical gas and electric to power its data centers, and the company is Microsoft, and they are going nuclear. Data centers are very energy intensive, and they are already causing a lot of strain on existing power supplies. So Microsoft is doing what it does best: innovates and solves problems. Full disclosure, this is one of my largest investments in my portfolio, and hearing things like this just makes me more bullish. So a new agreement between Microsoft and Constellation Energy Corporation to provide power to the tech giant's data centers for artificial intelligence is paving the way for the restart of a nuclear reactor on Pennsylvania's 3 Mile Island, the site of a 1979 partial meltdown. So the entire plant's output will go to one customer, and that is going to be Microsoft. Now, the Baltimore-based Constellation company announced Friday that the 20-year deal it has struck with Microsoft will create the Crane Clean Energy Center and restart the 3 Mile Island Unit 1, which operated at industry-leading levels of safety and reliability for decades before being shut down for economic reasons exactly 5 years ago. Now, under the agreement, Microsoft will purchase energy from the renewed plant as part of its goal to help match the power its data centers use with carbon-free energy. Now, 3 Mile Island is the site of a partial meltdown of its Unit 2 reactor in March of 1979, different from the Unit 1 that Microsoft will be using. This was the most serious accident in U.S. commercial nuclear power plant operating history, although its small radioactive releases had no detectable health effects on plant workers or the public. Now, Constellation is hoping to get the Crane Clean Energy Center at Unit 1 online by 2028 and secure a license that will allow it to extend plant operations until at least 2054. The Unit 1 reactor is located adjacent to Unit 2, which shut down in 1979 and is in the process of being decommissioned by its owner, Energy Solutions. So TM1 unit is a fully independent facility, and its long-term operation was not impacted by the Unit 2 accident. To prepare for the restart, significant investments will be made to restore the plant, including the turbine, generator, main power, transformer, and cooling and control systems. Restarting a nuclear reactor requires U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission approval following a comprehensive safety and environmental review, as well as permits from relevant state and local agencies. Constellation cited a study commissioned by the Pennsylvania Building and Construction Trades Council found that the new Crane Clean Energy Center will create 3,400 jobs and more than 800 megawatts of carbon-free electricity to the grid and bolster Pennsylvania's GDP by $16 billion. This agreement is a major milestone in Microsoft's effort to help decarbonize the grid in support of its commitment to become carbon negative. So under the deal, Microsoft will purchase energy from the restarted plant for a period of 20 years. The 3 Mile Island unit will provide 835 megawatts of energy to Microsoft. So the important thing here is providing power to our nation's global economic and technological competitiveness, including these data centers, which require an abundance of energy that is carbon-free and reliable every hour of every day. And nuclear plants are the only energy sources that can consistently deliver on that promise, which is very important for Microsoft and the future of nuclear energy. This would be the first ever restart of a nuclear power plant in the US after it shut down, which shows the massive surge in demand for data center operators looking to ride a boom in artificial intelligence. That's where Microsoft comes in, and I'm very bullish on this company. We're going to talk more about that towards the end. But major tech executives, including ChatGPT developer OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, have touted nuclear energy as a solution to the growing power needs of data centers. Right now, there's an issue There's a lot of strain currently with the energy that these data centers are eating up. This is a path forward that would solve that. Now, nuclear plants generated about 18.6% of the total electricity in the US last year, according to Energy Information Administration data. Now, financial details of the Microsoft Constellation deal were not disclosed. The companies declined to give more details on the agreement. So, if approved by regulators, 3 Mile Island would provide Microsoft with the energy equivalent it takes to power 800,000 homes, or 835 megawatts. Never before has a U.S. nuclear plant come back into service after being decommissioned, and never before has all of a single commercial nuclear power plant's output been allocated to a single customer. So this is exciting and a possible look into the future of what other companies may do if this is successful. Now, the risks of this not happening. Let's say regulators say nope and they axe the deal. Well, I think that's kind of somewhat unlikely, because then that gives other countries an opportunity to pass us and dominate in this AI technology, which we don't want them to do. We want to stay the top contenders and the ones that are producing this technology and bringing in that revenue. Also, if this does not go through, clean energy right now is something that is wanted and needed, and not pursuing a clean, reliable source of energy could create a big drag and strain on our current systems and increase environmental impacts that are very damaging. Now, the big thing that I think people will say, is it safe? There's a lot of public fears around this due to some high-profile accidents, and I want to show you this chart here. Over the last, 50 plus years, actually probably 60 plus years, there's only been 3 high-profile accidents. And if you look at this timeline, really, that's very minimal. And I like to think of this similar to airplanes, right? Airplanes are considered the safest mode of transportation. You get in a vehicle every day, you don't think twice about it, but accident rates are through the roof. Death rates are through the roof. But airplanes, there's tens of thousands of flights a day and rarely any accidents. But when one does happen, it makes the news, it's put out everywhere, and people get fearful. The same is for nuclear energy and power plants. And so that is something you have to keep in mind. Now, to further talk about this graph shows the nuclear power generation, again, over the last 60 plus years. So we had a huge spike from 1970 to about 2000, and then it's kind of leveled off some. And if we look at this is the nuclear power generation by country, and the U.S. far exceeds any other country. We are the number 1 power generating country of nuclear power. Now, as far as safety, what are the safest and cleanest sources of energy? This chart is pretty cool here. You'll see at the top, coal is the most unsafest and the most dirtiest form of energy. And as we go down the list, you'll see nuclear energy is all the way at the bottom, second to last. In fact, it still beats out solar when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions. And I will say this, I was a part of a program where I got to hear from leaders in the energy space, and they touted nuclear energy as extremely safe. And this is because of progress in technology and safety that has happened over the decades, that it's been said in several articles as well that it would be extremely unlikely for a huge catastrophe to happen. Again, it is that safe. And again, looking at those charts show you just how safe they are. Looking at this shows you just how safe it is, as well as how clean it is. And as far as Microsoft, this will be expensive, no doubt. But the outcome of saying your data centers are being run by carbon-free energy that is extremely safe would be a huge win. They are the first big AI data company to do this, and usually companies first to something new usually benefit massively if successful, and I think this will be. To me, this will position Microsoft to pull ahead and be a clear leader in AI technology as others deal with energy restraints and pressures from local governments. I also believe this will be a huge selling point to customers and will gain them more market share. So let's look at my portfolio. Right now, I'm in the green over 29%. It's been a really good year for my portfolio. I am very happy. Hopefully, a lot of you are reaching all-time highs like I am. That means you're invested in the good companies. One of them here is Microsoft, the one we're talking about today. Right now, it's in the green for me, 83.63%. It's been an amazing investment. It makes up 14.95% of my portfolio, so it is the second largest investment behind Vici. I am very bullish right now on Microsoft, not just because of the future of this potential nuclear energy that it will be using that I think it will massively benefit from, but I do think it's going to dominate in the AI space, continue to dominate in the office products that it delivers, in the cloud that it delivers. It's just really on fire, and I think has decades more of being a growth company, a growth stock that I invest in and make lots of profits. So I'm very pleased to hear of this news, and it makes me happy I own a large share of Microsoft. So let me know what you think of this. Do you think they're going down the right path? Being the first company to do so, do you see any risk with this? I personally do not. I think that nuclear energy, from all that I've researched and heard from the experts themselves, it is the future. It is the way to have a power source that delivers reliant power in a very clean way. And Microsoft is paving the path by being the first one to do it. And I just think the risk is very low here. I think the reward is very high. And therefore, for me, it's a win-win. But let me know your concerns. I like to hear other people's opinions because there's things that I might not think about, and you guys will be able to see that in the comment section below. So with that said, I appreciate you all listening in and hearing me out today on this topic. I think it's very fascinating. Be sure to subscribe if you want much more content coming up. And thank you so much for joining me. I very much appreciate you all. Have a great day.